Hey guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin. Today we're unboxing the iPhone 8 Plus. Now, I say it's an unboxing. It's really kind of a fake unboxing because usually what I do, it's like unscripted and I just kind of open something that I've never opened before. I've opened this, I've set up the phone already, but I kind of wanted to do like a hands-on thing. All right, so you can see the box is different this year. You have a gray box. Previously, it's been white, unless you got the jet black iPhone 7 or 7 Plus, which was a black box. Um, it was white. So now we have the gray box, and I'm pretty sure that the gold model comes in like a gold box too. So that's pretty cool. I always thought the white boxes were a little boring. So here's the phone itself. Now, it looks. This is the space gray model, obviously, and it looks just like the jet black iPhone 7 Plus. We have the space gray borders, which I guess that looks more like the space gray iPhone 6S type of thing. But then the back is glossy because it's a glass back, so it really just does look. But then you have the metallic Apple symbol, where on the jet black iPhone 7 Plus, which is the model that I had, it was just black. And then inside the box here, we've got our ear pods, and the 3.5 millimeter to Lightning adapter, which, by the way, obviously the headphones here connect to the Lightning port. We have the USB Type A adapter, and there's a Lightning cable that sits in there that I've already taken out. Now, couple things about about what's in the box here, because this is an issue. This phone supports fast charging, but not with the cables that are provided. This is the standard 5-watt charger that have come with iPhones, like forever. But you need more than that. The iPad Pro, the new iPad Pro, was the first iOS device to support fast charging. That didn't come with the proper hardware either. Um, it just had the standard 12-watt charger that iPads have always come with, and you needed to get a 29-watt charger with and USB Type C to Lightning cable. So keep in mind that not only did it not come with the proper charger, but it didn't come with the proper Lightning cable. So you need to buy both, and it would cost a total of like over $50 to get this thing set up for fast charging. So I have all of these cables. I'm not sure exactly what the iPhone needs for fast charging. I have to look into that, because this is 5 watts, and you've always previously needed previously, if you use that 12-watt charger that came with an iPad, with an iPhone, you could do it. I always did it. But Apple doesn't recommend it. They say it could damage the battery because you're pumping too much power into it at once. And that's understandable. So I don't know if you need the 29-watt charger for fast charging on the iPhone, if it's the same as the iPad, or if the 12-watt charger works. It's probably the 29-watt charger, because then they can sell you USB Type-C cables. But we'll see. Alright guys, this is the iPhone 8 Plus right here that you're looking at. You can see it's already collected some fingerprints on the back, so it is going to be kind of a fingerprint magnet. Now, glass backs are very popular these days. I have the LG V30 over here that includes a glass back. A lot of them, because it allows you to have wireless charging, which that's a key feature of this device. Obviously, wireless charging has been around for a long time. If you were watching this video because you're hoping for some kind of snark about how this phone is pretty much just an iPhone 7S, you're not going to get it here. The design is obviously very similar. I don't hate it though. I'm gonna have the iPhone 10 when that comes out, and I'm actually a little scared of the iPhone 10, in the sense that, like, we've had Touch ID forever, and before that we had the home button. So now that's going to be replaced with facial recognition. I've never found facial recognition to be good on phones, ever. It's good on laptops, and I know they're going to use an IR camera, so it's going to be secure, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good. It doesn't mean it's going to be convenient. So that's going to be an issue. And then it's all like swipe navigation. So they're completely changing the way that iOS works with the iPhone 10. So here's the thing. there are three things that Apple is doing now with the new set of iPhones that no one else is doing. One is the A11 Bionic processor that they have, which is like twice as powerful as the Snapdragon 835, right? Apple does that every year. They make these custom chips, and they really do just smoke the competition, which is mainly Qualcomm. And usually Qualcomm comes out with something that's comparable in the spring, and we'll see that. So another thing that they're doing, we could open up settings and take a look, is 4K 60 FPS video. All right, where's my camera settings? Did I miss it? No, I didn't. All right, so if we go in here, 4K 60 FPS, which, by the way, I just want to point out something that's ridiculous. 4K 24 FPS is an option on there also, which wasn't an option on my 7 Plus. I don't know why. There's no reason that a phone that can do 30 FPS can't do 24 FPS, right? But it's there. Anyway, 4K 60 FPS. Android phones can't do that because the Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 doesn't support it. You could go to Qualcomm's website right now, look up the specs for the 835, and you'll see 4K 30 frames per second. Now, Samsung could do it in regional variants of the Galaxy S8 and Note 8 because their Exynos 88, I want to say 8895, but don't kill me if I'm wrong. The Exynos chip that they're using can support 4K up to 120 frames per second video capture. So they could do it, but they put a Snapdragon 835 in their US variant, so they would have to have regional variants that can do things that others can't. So that's a real problem for them. So this is another thing that Apple is doing. And now, the A11 processor and the 4K 60 frames per second are both things that are in all three models. Okay, I want to get rid of True Tone. We could turn that off. Night Shift, we could turn that off, and you can see that it's your standard white. But True Tone is another thing that they did here, which adjusts to the color temperature of the room, I guess you would say. So but yeah, so those things are in all three models. So in a $699 iPhone 8, which isn't too expensive for a flagship. I mean, if you look at the rest of the market, Apple, I kind of feel like it's a price war, but instead of prices going down, they're going up just so people think they're more premium, right? Apple can't be the lowest price flagship out there at $649 because that's not Apple. They're not a budget brand. So the third thing that they're doing that no one else is doing is Face ID, right? So, and let me explain that because you have facial recognition on the LG V30 on the Galaxy Note 8, which, by the way, I'm recording this with the Galaxy Note 8. But those are terrible. They use the front camera. You can unlock them with a selfie. Like, I did that with the V30 when I was testing it out. I took a selfie with my computer, and I just turned the phone against the computer screen with my picture on it, and it just unlocked. With both of those phones, you could turn on like an advanced setting where it's more secure, but it takes a lot longer to unlock the phone. So yeah, it's only a few seconds, so it's really security versus convenience. So Apple's promising that you don't have to make that sacrifice. I don't know how that's going to work though. Like I said, I've seen facial recognition with IR cameras on Windows PCs, and they work great. But with a phone, you always have to kind of hold it at an awkward position, right? So you pick up this phone, so if you want an iPhone that's going to work the way that it always has, you have that in the iPhone 8, and it has those two things that really go above and beyond the competition. Obviously, wireless charging now. And a funny thing about wireless charging is I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal for Apple users, right? Because they've never had it. Wireless charging was never a huge thing, even though it's been around for years on Nokia Windows phones, Samsung Android phones, and a lot of others. HTC hasn't really widely adopted because they're using metal bodies for so long. LG is just kind of getting into it now. All right, but I don't see it being huge for Apple users until like Apple comes out with that AirPower thing, right? I mean, keep in mind, I have an Apple Watch right here, which is the new with the new Sport Loop band, which is great. I can't use that on a regular Qi charger, which this is the one thing I can't thank Apple enough for actually going ahead and using a standard Qi for this, right? So If I just put this on here, throw the phone on there, and it's charging right away. Now, I just want to say that other phones don't charge. They don't flip into charging that quickly. It feels like Apple has implemented it really well and better than other companies have so far. All right, because this thing, you know, if I move it off about halfway there, right, it stops charging, and that's something that a lot of times I'll put other phones on here, and it'll charge for a little bit, and then it'll stop charging, and it'll kind of go on and off, and it gets kind of buggy. So, you know, Apple tends to be pretty good at working out the bugs in buggy technologies like that. And I'm hoping that they did here, because for me it's a big deal, right? I said for Apple users, I don't think it'll be a huge deal, but for me it is, because I would really love it if I could just take my Samsung Galaxy Note 8 and my LG V30 and my iPhone 8 Plus and just throw them all on the same charger and just, you know, not have to worry about cables anymore. Just throw them on the charger when I get home, and it just works, right? And so yeah, that's another thing that Apple did with the new phone. If you really are the type of person that needs it to look like you got a new phone, I wouldn't recommend getting the space gray model, because it looks. No one's gonna look at your phone and not think that maybe it's a jet black 7 Plus. So obviously the silver and the gold should look a little different. I haven't seen those in person though, actually. And I guess that's about it. There's nothing else really new to report here. You know, I mean, we could talk a little bit more about the iPhone 10 that's coming in November, and there's not really much more, like, because you have the chip in the 8 and the 8 Plus. The camera is going to be better on the 10. The front camera is going to be better. Obviously, there's the screen that's going to be OLED. Now, that's the one thing that I wish that they included with the 8 and the 8 Plus is an OLED screen. You know, and by the way, another thing that worries me about Face ID is that it's a feature that's born in failure. It's the failure to put Touch ID under the screen, and they didn't want to put it on the back. So if you want something that's worked, like your iPhone has always worked, but it's better and it contains lots of great features, then the 8 and the 8 Plus should be just fine for you. You know? So that's why I'm not really down on Apple for what they did this year, because I think they still did a pretty good job. I wonder what it's going to be like next year. I wonder if this is going to be the last year that we can get a home button on any phone. If you're worried about spending $1,000 on an iPhone 10, I wonder if all models are going to look like the iPhone 10 next year, so you would be spending a lot less. But that's all speculation. And I'll have a lot more on the iPhone 8 Plus in the weeks to come. Hopefully I can do like a shootout with the Note 8 and the V30, and we can kind of get something going there. Anyway, guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.